Hello, good morning, friends. Uh, uh, Today we are discuss about the purpose of valuation. Purpose of valuation. There are too many things are important in the valuation field, and for the valuation for any property. For any property, and there are too many things which are necessary to cover in the valuation part. Subject valuation report in the commercial center bin to plaza in Saudi Arab. After that, and the table of the contents. What are the contents are necessary in the valuation? Firstly, 1.1 is instruction. Secondly, client. Thirdly, interest to be valued. Then status of consultant and valuer, independent consultant, structure, stability if any, opinion of value, valuation and standards, purpose of valuation. Client approval date, inspection date, valuation date, report date, inspection rule, market survey, report currency, insurance, legal notices, information source, knowledge and skills, our accredited valuer and scheme, valuation compliance, valuation standards, basics of the valuations, valuation approach, disclosing conflict of the interest confidentially, environmental matters, property descriptions, title deeds and ownership, boundaries, constructions and building, land space, infrastructure facilities, occupation and vacancy, location, photo record, document services, documents received, journal assumptions, show analysis, sector brief, risk analysis, input evaluation process, cost approach DRC, income approach market rates, income approach listening contract, subject property valuation in different approach, valuation notice, subject property value, report use, disclaimer, conclusions. These all our points are very necessary to complete our valuation. The section of the experts disclosures, disclaimer and journal statement about the limitations of the valuation procedures. Instructions, a type of valuation type, real estate valuation. Instructions from A Al Kabir Capital. Property type, commercial property. Property name, Bintu Plaza. Location of the property, KSA Jihad. And the name of client, A Al Kabir Capital. Domain, asset management company. And the location, KSA Jihad. Contact person, Tariq Akil, and the contact number is given in the slide. Interest to be valued. We are including that instructed that subject property should be valued as freehold, free from the incumbrance and or a third party interest. We have not made any investigation on the title and have assumed that any such investigation would not identify in the description of ownership. Then structure stability of the building, opinion of the value, the valuation standards, the report analysis opinion, the conclusion were developed and the report has been prepared in the confirmatory valuation 2014 edition and rule conductor members in valuation standard issued by IVSC International Valuation Standard Council and applied by Kim Saudi Authority of Accredited Valuers. The purpose of valuation. Public funding rising, selling purpose, private funding, real estate investment, internet decision making, insurance purposes, liquidation purposes, distribution of enhanced financial financing purpose, court disputes, partnership purposes, government expression purposes, loss damages and purposes and others. client approval, inspection date, valuation date, and report date. These are the all important things for complete the valuation, like November 12 and 2019, November 14 2019, November 21 2019, November 21 2019. Then inspection rule, visit on the property and inspection of the assets by the examiner to obtain the relevant information in order to express professional opinion of its value. We hereby confirm that we have inspected at value property assets the date of inspection. Our inspection procedure covers only the surface boundaries and our layers of property. No technical inspection has been made, such as soil test, construction during, etc. The following shows the finding from the inspection procedure. Recommendation: property info, on site visit, then location analysis, then general building services, then utility and services checkup, then comment of structure design, then due to diligence output, inspection summary notes. Then a market survey. During the site visit, our team has made the market survey on the immediate surrounding areas of the subject property to collect the possible and related data to the valuation process. The collected data will be prices, rents, and land offering, properties transfer, etc. The collecting data type will be according to the property data, the purposes of valuation. The report currency, insurances, legal notices. We are not aware of, nor have we been informed any legal notices survey on the property outstanding by the pending of the court's law. Information source. For the purposes of this report, they assume that written the verbal information provided by us by the client to update, complete, and correct, while cubes and furthermore undertaking further research will respected to but not limit to get price levels of lands, occupations, and lease and daily activity most known recently market activated in the addition. Market survey done by the team, site inspection done by the team, local real estate agents. By we can get the information for the complete our valuation. Knowledge and skills. We confirm that the unsigned valuer undertaking in the instructions as suitability qualified and have appropriate knowledge and skills to update his instructions. Even so, the valuer acknowledge the significant assistance of provided by the team leader or site inspection team. Our accredited valuer in that team, Dr. Mahmood and Tara partner, and Isam M. Hussain owner. The valuation compliance. The valuation has been prepared in the accommodation of the Royal Institution of Chartered Survey (RICS) Valuation Professional Standard January 2014 edition. The International Valuation Standard Council (IVSC) International Valuation Standard 2014. It should be further notices and that the valuation as set undertaking the compliance with the generally accepted about concepts. Principles of the definitions and IVS as set out in the journal standards, IVS assets standards, and IVS assets applications. Valuation standards. Who are the authority where we can get our valuer standards approved by the associations. RICS Royal Institution of the Chartered Survey, International Association of the Certified Valuer Analysis, International Valuation Standard Council, Arabic Academy of the Valuation, Saudi Authority of Accredited Values. Basics of value. Market value in the defined, the estimate amount of which is assessed the liability should exchange on the valuation data between the willing buyer and willing seller, an arm's length standards after proper making, and where is the parties have each act knowledgeable prudently and without compulsion. uh, an asset should exchange on the valuation date between the willing buyer and willing seller, and length transaction, and after proper making means of that assets would be exposed to the market more appropriate manner to affect the disposal at the price best reasonably obtained the accordance of the market value defined on the mention of the sales of demand to be most appropriate on the obtained the best price of in the market to which the seller has assessed the length exposed. The time is not fixed period but will vary according to the type of assessment market condition. The only certain in that there must have been sufficient time to allow the assess to board the attention on the educate members of market principles participants. The exposed periods occurs prior on the valuation date. Knowledge eligibility of the periodicity, where the parties had each assets knowledgeable periodicity, then without any compulsion. uh, Valuation approach according to the international valuation standard, according to the Takim valuation principle, there are three main type of real estate valuation approach following: cost approach, compressive approach, income approach. Cost method DRC method, market compression method RLV, CAP rate DCF. uh, com- Comparable method. This is the method more and familiar, which as the accept method of the valuation residential real estate. Typically method of involves selling properties with similar characteristics in the same market area have recently sold. Only those properties are found they are compared to property in the questions, and the professional appearance will deduct value from the subject properly. The comprehensive defective and the increasing value of the advantages typically in the method of acquiring and selling prices property of the nature in the immediate neighbor and adjoining areas. Neighbors properties which have been recently sold or purchased are invested to associates on the reasonable selling price. uh, Capitalization method CPA rate, the income approach value report of the amount income that can potentially generate. Hence the method of use the apartments, office buildings, malls and other property, and generates the regular income. Discounted cash DFC, the discounted cash flow method involves estimating net cash flow in the income generally properly over specified period of the time, and then calculating the present value of the series of cash flow by discounting those net cash flow using selecting discount rate. A discount cash flow method DCF is valuation method used to estimate the alternatives of the income generating property. uh, Residual land value, the residual land value is a method used to determine the value and potentially profitability of the period of property less any expenses related to the land. A residential land values and value of the land that remains after any and all deductions associated with the cost developing, maintaining or the reselling the land. The application of the residential method of the valuation is based on the principles that the price to be paid to property that suitable development of the equal and difference between It's the completed value of the highest and best from the permitted development, and the total most carrying out the development, thus the net capital value of the compliance and development and assessment after deducting any cost of the sale on the assumption that has been developed from the most valuable from the development, and from that value is deducted the cost of any construction, any building work required to carry out the development, including all cost, purchase cost, killing fees, finance, etc., as well as appropriate allowance for profit and on the development. Secondly, land, building, overall property, DRC compliant, comparable income cap, DCF, RLV. Disclosing confidentially the interest, confidentially the documents and any other documents received from the client confidentially between while cubes and the client expect any may be required by any any court or authority. The subject services shall not disclose or used or cause to be disclosed or used at any time of during the team enrollment matters. We are not aware the content of any environmental audit or other environmental investigation of soil survey which may have been carried out on the properly, and which may be draw attention on the contamination or the possibility of any such contamination. Property info. The section indicates full descriptions of the value properties and that contains the legal documentation info, location, components, status on status, conditions, and many other elements. Property descriptions. The subject of property, commercial project location and Jihad city. The property has total land area is 20,641.74 square meter, a total BUA of 21,305.3 square meter. As per the site inspection done by our team, the project is open on 4 sides that directly view the unmanned road of the east side. All instruction facilities such as water, electricity, telecommunication and sewerage are available in the surrounding connected on the subject property. Land use, number of sheets, journals, land space, direct view on the main road, direct view on the internet on the internal sheets, land status, water, electricity, sewerage, telecommunication, infrastructure facilities, building conditions, external elevation, finishing, over building condition, overall building condition, building components. Then title deed of ownership, city Jihad, district Al Amraj, TD type electronic, then mobile number, contact number, TD date, TD valuation date of the last transaction issued from land area, plot number, block number, layout number, owner detail, owner type, limitations of the documents. Then boundaries, north, south, east and west. Construction and building. The subject properly of the full construction commercial center composed the ground floor, mezzanine and first floor. The client has provided us the copy of the construction permit issued by the Jihad municipality with the below details. Construction permit type, new permit, property type, mixed use property, construction permit number, that is construction permit date, that is permit expiry date, that is given. The description of the ground floor area, that is mezzanine floors area of the showroom, that is 4727.9, and the first floor area of this building 8648.8 offices. There is offices on this floor. uh, Source of the BUA, actual age of the property, of status of his property, of uh, land spaces. The land is vacant, constructed, under construction, uh, ex- excavated, raw land. Commercial, industrial, residential, agriculture, and mixed use. Graded, semi-graded, mountain, valley, slope. Commercial, industrial, residential, agriculture, and mixed use. The infrastructure facilities: water, electricity, telecommunication, and sewages. Occupation and vacancies. As per site inspection done by our team, the inspection properly the semi occupied by the services tenants, yet, and as per the client and client indications to the accurate, the subject properly as income generated properly rented by the previous owner of triple net lease FCR 90 lakh annually as per 15 year, which increasing every 5 year 5%. Location: the location of the property: north, south, north side, south side, east side, west side. And landmarks and landmarks is also a necessary part of in the valuation. The photo record of the building: the front side of photo, right side and the left side, and photo of the with the road, without road, any all the sides of the building which are covered by the photo record. Documents received: title deed copy, master plan, pictures, location and links, tenants list, forecasts and expectations, consultant permits, layouts, presentation of the subject property, contract detail, income revenues, then croquis, 3D design of the prospective, location map, costing and budget, operation costing, OPEX and others, journal assumptions. uh, uh, Short analysis: strength: open on four sides, close to main road. Then weekends: none. Weaknesses: none. Any weaknesses? No. And the opportunities: most surrounding by the residential units. Treats existing and upcoming similar projects. And the sector brief: indication shows about the decreases the currently performing, comparing to the last year. Indicator shows the increase to currently performance, comparing to the last year. Indicator shows the stable person in the currently performance comparing to the last years. Overall sector performance. Then full expenditures: valuation of land related to the sector demand, sector occupational ratio. Then risk analysis: risk factors, overall economy, sector currency performance, sector failure performance, occupancy rates, supply rates, demands rate. Assess locations, land shapes, surrounding area, facilities and amenities, management skills, overall conditions, total risk. Input: valuation of process. After carrying the out of inspection process of a subject property and based on the purpose of evaluation, we survey the surrounding area of the purpose of bringing the information reach the same sector in being actual assessment. The information may include seminar, land prices, residential values, income rates, and other information that may be useful and depends on the estimated by to be followed in the reports. The research boundaries refresh the area surrounding the subject property directly. The research boundaries refresh the areas adjust the subject properly. The research boundaries refers the wider area research in the absence of the information surrounding the subject properly. Cost approach. And the cost approach, we will evaluate the subject properly as two different assets: land valuation based on the comparable method of the construction, valuation based on the valuation based on the valuation based on the depreciated replacement cost. After estimating the currently construction replacement cost, we will take into consider the actual age of the construction, added the not description value of the construction based on the actual compliance rate of such construction. uh, that is cost approach, which are necessary to cover in the valuation. And the land area, the land amount, the value of the land. Then ground floor square meters area, mezzanine floor in the square meter area, and the other floor square meters area. Total square meter area of 21,305.30 square meters. Then skeleton and blocks, electromagnetic finishing, fit outs, the applicants, furnitures, site improvements. Then the area is a different type of area is given by in the detail of different columns. Initial project pre-cost, that is given in the chart, and designs, consultant, management, integrity, others, and the type of such is very important points which are necessary to cover in the valuation. Income approach, market rates, the rate according to the showrooms, offices, showroom offices. Then how the number of showrooms and offices in this the building is properly covered by in the valuation. Income approach, leasing contract, subject to properly valued, and different approaches. Valuation notes, as the valuation of the REIC funds. We believe that the most appropriate approach to the valuation of such property should be based on the income methodology. Subject to properly value, we are on the opinion of the total market value of subject to properly taking on the considered of the purposes of valuation using income approach based on the lease contract is the report used. The valuation is the sole use of a name client. The report of confidential to the client and that the their advisories, and we accept the reasonable whatsoever. So any third party number of no responsibilities and accept to any third party who may use or real upon the whole any parties to contents of this report. It should be noted that any subsequences, amendments of changes of any from there is will now be notified to be client who in the authorized. Disclaimer conclusions, that is complete our valuation, the purposes of valuation, and what are the important things are necessary for complete the valuation. And at that it is complete my all seminar project and all details about the seminar. Thank you.